There comes a moment in every person's life when silence is louder than the noise. And a moment when the mirror shows more than your face. It reflects the truth you've been running from. Oh, you know it, that quiet, pressing truth. Sir, listen, you're either becoming more or becoming less. You're either rising or rotting. You're either growing or dying. And in that moment, the world stops pretending, because life does not wait, it does not pause for your fears, it does not soften for your excuses. And it moves, and you either move with it or you fall behind and get buried beneath your own potential. Every tree that stretches toward the sky knows this. Every lion in the wild feels it. Grow or die. It's nature's law. It's nature's law, written not in ink, but in blood, sweat, and evolution. And that same law beats inside your chest every morning you wake up. Oh, but here's the truth they don't teach in school. Although your life will shrink to the size of your mindset. If your thinking is small, your future will be smaller. If your belief is weak, your actions will be weaker. If your self-image is cracked, your success will leak out through every broken piece, because success isn't found in money or status. It's found in the shadows, in the places where no one claps for you. It's built in the dark in the early mornings when your alarm hits and your dreams beg for another hour of sleep. In the lonely nights when your vision is the only thing keeping you alive. Now, success is forged in silence, but announced in thunder. And the people who changed the world, they all knew this. They didn't stumble into greatness. They bled for it. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times. And yet every failure brought him closer to the light, literally. People mocked him. They laughed at his obsession. But Edison didn't hear the laughter. He was too busy listening to the voice inside that whispered, "Oh, keep going. You're almost there." That's what growth looks like. It's ugly, it's painful, it's lonely. But it's the only path that leads anywhere real. Henry Ford wasn't just building cars. He was building belief. The world told him he couldn't mass-produce automobiles. They said the average man would never drive one. They said it was impossible. And do you know what Ford said? Whether you think you can or you think you can't. You're right, Ali, because belief shapes the world long before you ever do. Most people wait. They wait for confidence. They wait for support. They wait for the perfect time. But the successful don't wait. They decide. Ali, they choose to grow. Even when it hurts, they choose to move. Even when it's dark. They choose to bet on themselves. Even when the world laughs, and that's the moment that changes everything. When you decide that where you are is no longer enough. Now, Lee, you see, comfort is a cage, and the walls are made of your own hesitation. Only you build it every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow." Every time you say, "I'm not ready yet." Every time you say, "What if I fail?" And what if you do? Failure isn't death. Quitting is failure is fertilizer. Every mistake feeds your next move. If you let it, but quitting, that's when the music dies. That's when your fire turns to smoke and your dream becomes just another story you'll tell people about what could have been. Haley, you weren't made for that. You were made to rise, to stretch, to break through the shell of who you were and become who you're meant to be. But to do that, you have to choose discomfort. You have to choose effort over ease. You have to choose growth, not once, but every single day, because this isn't about one big decision. It's about 1,000 small ones. It's about waking up and doing the hard things when no one is watching. It's about picking the gym over the couch, the book over the scroll, the grind over the gossip. Allie, it's about killing your excuses before they kill your future. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. They said he had no good ideas. Can you imagine that? But he didn't shrink. He didn't quit. He doubled down. He went broke trying. He faced rejection after rejection daily until one day the world opened up and let him in. That's what happens when you choose growth over doubt, when you choose faith over fear, when you stop listening to people who've never built anything, grow, and start listening to the voice inside you. The one that whispers, Dad, you were made for more. Well, Ellie, that voice will never scream. It won't shove you. It won't beg. It waits, Ellie, because greatness is always a choice, not a gift. And if you're not choosing it, you're choosing the alternative. And what is that alternative? Oh, it's quiet. It doesn't shout. It creeps in slowly. It looks like comfort, feels like rest, smells like safety, but it's decay, it's stagnation. It's you stuck in the same loop, living the same year over and over again, like calling it a life. You see, dying isn't always dramatic. It's not always a final breath. Sometimes it's invisible, a dream that fades in the background, or a habit that never breaks. A goal that turns into a grave because you were too afraid to dig for gold. Oh, that's how dreams die, not with a scream, but with a sigh. And too many people are sleepwalking through their own lives, numb, distracted, half alive. But not you. You're here because something inside you is still burning, still asking, is this all there is? Still whispering, fellow, there's more in you. And you're right, there is more strength, more vision, more courage, more potential screaming to be used before it rots in regret. But you have to choose it. You have to wake up every day and say, Cecil, today I grow. Even if it's by an inch, even if no one notices, even if it's ugly and hard and thankless, you grow anyway. See, that's how Lincoln rose from a log cabin to the White House. He didn't have the tools. He didn't have the background. He had failure. He had defeat. He had heartbreak, but he kept growing. And he kept learning. He kept standing, even when the world knocked him flat. Ellie, because real strength isn't loud, it's consistent. Growth doesn't need to go viral. It just needs to keep going. And if you can do that, if you can choose improvement over insecurity, if you can choose vision over validation, well, if you can keep taking steps in the dark when no one sees your effort, you become unstoppable. Let me tell you something that's as true today as it was in Carnegie's time. You are the cause, Ellie, not your job, not your parents, not the economy, not your trauma. You, Ellie, you are the spark that ignites or extinguishes your future. Carnegie understood this. He didn't come from privilege. He came from sweat, from steel, from hunger. But that hunger, he fed it. And it fed him back with fortune, not just in money, but in influence, in legacy. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He made conditions submit to his purpose, L.A., and that's what the world responds to, not just talent, but conviction. People don't follow those who know all the answers. They follow those who refuse to stop asking questions, who keep showing up with purpose in their eyes and fire in their voice. Ellie, and you can be that person. But you must let go of the fallacy that growth is supposed to feel good. It's not. No, sometimes it feels like heartbreak. Sometimes it feels like confusion, like sacrifice, like isolation. But that's the cost. That's the price of the next level. You want to fly? You've got to give up the ground. Oh, you want power? You've got to shed the version of you that was okay being weak. You want clarity? You've got to destroy distraction. You want peace? You've got to earn it through discipline. Ellie, because every next level of your life will demand a stronger version of you. Not a louder version, not a prettier version, a stronger version. That means better decisions, tighter habits, sharper thoughts, cleaner energy. Oh, it means cutting things off. People, habits, patterns that poison your progress. Okay? Because some people in your life aren't helping you grow. They're watering the weeds while you're trying to grow roses. And you can't bloom in a garden full of decay, so choose a cut. What must be cut, build what must be built, and don't apologize for choosing your own evolution. This is your life. You get one shot, one canvas, one legacy. Don't waste it living halfway. Don't spend it fitting in when you were born to stand out. Don't water down your fire just to make others comfortable in their smoke. There is no growth in staying the same, and the longer you wait to change, the louder regret will become. So move, act. Say yes to the life that scares you, because fear is the compass pointing directly at your growth. I.e., say yes to the gym, yes to the book, yes to the business, yes to the silence, yes to the stretch, yes to becoming who you were designed to be. Okay? Because if you don't recumber Donna, you already know the cost. You already know the cost of standing still, of playing it safe, of shrinking, of pretending you're not hungry for more when your soul is starving. You've tasted that kind of slow death before, haven't you? The days where you feel tired but didn't work. Yes, the nights where you can't sleep because the version of you you're pretending to be is suffocating the version of you that's dying to live. You know what I'm talking about. It's that haunting voice that whispers at 2 a.m. You were made for more, and it's not wrong, but you won't reach that more by accident. You'll only reach it through intention, through battle, through discipline that looks like madness to the lazy. Through sacrifice that looks like obsession to the weak. You'll reach it the same way Edison reached it, by failing forward 1,000 times. Refusing to call it defeat, calling it refinement. He didn't discover the light bulb, he earned it. One burned finger, one failed filament, one sleepless night at a time. Do you think that kind of growth came with applause, with motivation? No, it came in silence. It came in sweat, it came in obsession that made him unrecognizable to the average mind. That's the truth nobody wants to hear. Growth isn't sexy, it's messy, it's awkward, it's painful, it's lonely. It's saying no to comfort, no tardies, no to parties, no to Netflix. So you can say yes to vision. Yes to transformation, Asney. Yes to a future that doesn't make you sick when you imagine it. You want to know why most people never grow? Because growth doesn't feel good at first. It feels like dying. But it's not you that's dying. It's your limitations, your excuses, your false identity, your self-sabotage. And that death is beautiful. It's holy. It's necessary, because you cannot grow without first letting go. Now, let go of who you were so you can meet who you are. Now, that version of you who wakes up early, who trains even when it hurts. Elsa, who speaks truth even when it's hard. Wally, who dares to dream even when others laugh. L-A, that version is real, and it's waiting on the other side of pain. A-L-E, listen, no one becomes extraordinary by accident. Not Jobs, not Disney, not Tesla. Only Tesla lived in poverty, obsessed with energy the world didn't understand. Mocked, forgotten, used. But did he quit? No, because growth was his religion, creation was his oxygen. He didn't need validation. He needed vision, and he held onto it with a grip that didn't care how bloody his hands got. That's what it takes. When the world doubts you, you dig deeper. When you doubt yourself, you still take the step. When you're tired, you still show up. When you're afraid, you still move. That's the rhythm of growth. One decision, one action, one more rep, one more day, and then another and another until the world looks up and asks, "Oh, how did you do it?" And you just smile because they didn't see the night you bled for it. The mornings you rose when your soul said no more, the days you were broken, but still chose to build. And that's the moment you'll realize it wasn't the goal that changed you, it was the growth, because money doesn't make you rich, fame doesn't make you powerful. Success isn't found in things, it's found in the strength you've built on the way. That strength, that becomes your weapon, your shield, your freedom, because when you grow, the world can't shrink you. Criticism can't crush you. Failure can't scare you because you know who you are and you earned every inch of it. That is real power. Not control over others, but mastery over yourself. Most people are slaves to impulse, slaves to comfort, slaves to validation. But not you, not anymore, because now you understand the truth. If you're not growing, you're not just standing still, you're slipping. Because the world is moving, time is passing, the window is shrinking. And every day you wait is another day stolen by fear. But every day you act, every step you take toward who you want to be, that's another brick laid in the foundation of a life worth remembering. A life of purpose, a life of meaning, a life that when it's over, you don't regret, you smile. Because you didn't just live on it, you grew into something greater. You're into something greater. You weren't sent here to play small. You weren't born to just pay bills and scroll through a phone until your time runs out. Yolani, you were built to rise, to stretch, to shatter the ceiling. Others told you was permanent, Ellie. But here's the truth they won't tell you. Ellie, no one's coming to save you. No mentor, no guru, no millionaire. Savior is going to grab you by the hand and pull you into greatness. You have to decide to rise and then rise again and again. Even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching, that's when character is forged. In the dark, in the quiet, in the rejection, the setbacks, the days where you feel invisible, that's where the real ones are made. You know who understood that? Abraham Lincoln, a man who failed in business, lost multiple elections, suffered unthinkable grief. He was mocked, dismissed, underestimated again and again, but he grew anyway. because his purpose was louder than his pain. His growth wasn't public. It wasn't glamorous. It was slow. It was gritty. It was lonely. But it made him into the kind of man who could hold a broken nation on his back. Now, that's what growth does. It builds people and whiz people with weight, with gravity, with depth. They people who don't just survive life, they bend it. That's what you're becoming now. Each time you choose discomfort over distraction, each time you show up when it would be easier to quit. Although you're forging something unbreakable, because the enemy of greatness isn't failure, it's mediocrity. It's comfort disguised as I'm fine. It's the poison of good enough. That you weren't created to be fine. You weren't born to just exist. You were born to burn, to shine, to stretch your potential so far that people start wondering if you're even human. That's growth, eh? It's not about proving others wrong. It's about proving to yourself what you're truly capable of. Ali, and you'll know when it starts happening. You'll feel it in your bones. Your tolerance for excuses will vanish. Your circle will shift. Your habits will harden. Your mind will become a weapon. And suddenly, the version of you that once begged for motivation is now the one that creates it. And well, you become the storm, you become the fire. You become the force that can't be stopped because you stopped waiting for permission to become who you were always meant to be. Ellie, think about Carnegie, a man who started with nothing, no silver spoon, no handout, just a burning vision and the will to outgrow his circumstances. He read books while working factory shifts. He studied men who were better than him, not out of jealousy, but hunger. He didn't let poverty define him. He let it refine him, and in time he built an empire. Stouffer refined, not because he got lucky, but because he grew every single day. Mind, spirit, strategy, leadership. Ellie, that's what this is about. Not overnight success, not instant results. Daily, brutal, honest internal work until the world around you has no choice but to rise to match the person you've become. Ellie, because growth isn't about how loud you are. It's about how deeply you live. It's in how you show up, in how you respond when life hits you in the mouth, in whether you let fear call the shots or purpose, because make no mistake, Deserletta, you will be tested. Oops, you will fall, you will face silence, mockery, confusion, and exhaustion, but that's the process. That's the weight room of the soul. That's where warriors are made, not in comfort, but in collision. And you have everything you need to win that fight. It's already in you. The grit, the fire, the focus, the hunger. You don't need more information. You don't need more followers. You need a decision. DAE, a decision to stop shrinking to fit the world you've outgrown. Allie, a decision to walk away from the version of you who settles, who scrolls, who waits, LA, and to walk toward the version of you that builds, that creates, that earns, that leads, LA, because one day your story will be told. The only question is, will it be a warning or a blueprint? Will they say he had potential, but he played it safe? Or will they say he rose, he fought, he became something no one expected, not even him? That decision is being made right now. In this moment, in the way you breathe when it gets hard, in the thoughts you feed when you're tired, in the choices you make when no one is watching, that's when your future is being built. So don't wait for January, don't wait for Monday, don't wait for motivation, because growth doesn't care about your calendar. Growth doesn't wait for the stars to align. Growth moves, and you better move with it, or be left behind by the person you were supposed to become. So stand up, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Stand up against everything inside you that whispers, maybe tomorrow. No one will notice. It's too late for you. Just settle like everyone else, because that voice is a liar. It's the echo of your fear, not your truth. It's the old you, not the real you. The real you is not scared. The real you is not small. The real you is waiting. Right behind the wall of resistance you haven't punched through yet. Break it. This is your moment. Right here, right now. Not when you're more ready. Not when you're more confident. Not when life finally calms down. Now, because life doesn't slow down, it accelerates. First inside and you brusting. And if you don't grow with it, you disappear beneath it. And you either ride the wave or you drown in it. You either become more or you become forgotten. Hey, and listen, this isn't about becoming famous. It's not about going viral, being followed, being envied. It's about becoming undeniable to yourself, to your doubts, to your past, to every voice that ever told you you'd never make it. Growth makes you undeniable. Because when you grow, you begin to move different. You think different. You see opportunities where others see obstacles. You hear silence and you don't panic. You build in it. That's what the greats did. Think of Walt Disney, a man who was fired for lacking creativity. Imagine that, and yet instead of folding, he grew. He kept dreaming, kept pushing, kept building in silence. Even when he was broke, even when he was laughed at, even when his first characters were stolen, he kept growing because he saw what others didn't. He didn't wait for permission. He gave himself permission to become legendary, and now his vision has outlived him. That's the power of growth. Ali, you grow deep enough, and your name outlives your breath. You become immortal through impact. Ali, but first, you have to fight the pull of average. You have to war against your own laziness. You have to confront your comfort like a soldier facing the enemy. Because the battlefield is not out there. It's in here. It's your mind, your decisions, your habits. You think it's about money? Money is a reflection of your discipline. You think it's about motivation. Motivation is the child of purpose. You think it's about luck? Luck is what happens when relentless preparation meets divine timing, so don't wait, don't wander. Decide that you will no longer live as half of yourself, that you will no longer apologize for wanting more, that you will no longer shrink to make others comfortable. Let them judge you, let them whisper, let them watch, because one day they'll wish they grew when you grew. They'll wish they started when you started. They'll wish they had the courage Ocheros, but by then it will be too late for them and just the beginning for you. Ellie? Because here's what no one tells you. SCRN growth isn't a goal. It's a way of life. It's in the way you wake up. It's in the way you talk to yourself. It's in the way you treat your time like sacred fire. Growth is your identity. So wear it, speak it, live it. Become the person who chooses pressure over peace, who chooses clarity over chaos, who chooses purpose over popularity. Because you are not average, you are not soft, you are not done. You are becoming, and every moment you resist that, you die a little, not physically, but spiritually. And that is the greatest loss of all, to die with your music still inside you. Ollie, don't let that be your fate. Write, speak, build, create, lead, push, stretch, risk, grow. LA, because if you're not growing, you're dying. LA, and this life, this one short, precious, burning life demands more from you, so give it. All of it. Now, your gifts, your work, your resilience, your truth. Don't let the world mold you. Mold the world with the weight of who you've become. Because the version of you who keeps growing, that version changes families. That version rewrites legacies. That version lifts others just by existing. And that version is you, daily waiting, wanting, ready, so rise, not tomorrow, not someday, now, because the clock is ticking, LA, and if you're not growing, LA, you're dying. Choose now